Hey gang, it's Tommy Howe, and I wanted to talk to you about a couple of conservation matters. The reduction of Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument and Bears Ears National Monument, it's unprecedented. And what's occurred for the second time is both of these national monuments have been greatly reduced. But this time around, they've been reduced far more than they were back in 2017. When Biden restored their size in 2021, they went back to what had originally been set aside when they were declared in 1996 and 2016. Now, they are literally a shadow of their former self. Even though 74% of Utahns, where both these national monuments are, 74% are happy with them and want them left alone. Even though 90% of Americans, over 90% of Americans, are happy with these national monuments, as they are with all of our national parks and wilderness areas and protected spaces. There has been absolutely no call from any quarter of the populace demanding that these national monuments and others be shrunk. So why are they doing this? For the second time, why are they doing this? Because our Republican friends and Donald Trump loathe the Antiquities Act. The Antiquities Act was passed 120 years ago, was signed into law by a great Republican, President Theodore Roosevelt, in another era of Republicans and another era of American history when conservation was valued. This is a guy who went out of his way to hang out with John Muir at Yosemite National Park. And back in 1906, Theodore Roosevelt determined that if Congress was moving too slow to set aside an area as a national park because of a conservation matter, maybe there was something pending, there was some concern, some danger, it might have been developed, he said the president should have the ability to set aside a national monument without congressional authorization that could later be turned into a national park. That's how we have Grand Canyon, Joshua Tree, Death Valley, Olympic National Parks. They all started off as national monuments. And the idea was to preserve an area of note when Congress wasn't willing to do it, if there was a real emergency. That matter was the case for both Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument and Bears Ears National Monument because they were in danger of being plundered by resource extractors. The same resource extractors today who, for the second time, are cheering the Trump administration for reducing the size of these. And what they're trying to do is egg on a court case. And they want the Antiquities Act to be determined at the Supreme Court. And we know how things are going at the Supreme Court lately. Even though it's 120 years old, we're talking about legislation that was passed in 1906. They want to kill the Antiquities Act. Republicans hate the idea of public lands. They hate the idea of national monuments. They loathe the idea that somehow public lands belong to all Americans and not just them. And in the Trump administration, they found their vessel for a second time. Now, I've been asking you a lot over the last couple of months to write your congressperson, write your senators, get on their emails, call them, call their offices, call them again, have your friends and family do it. And you have to keep doing that because unfortunately in the situation we're in right now, a lot of these blanket laws that protect these protected areas are being done away with or aren't being enforced. And with national monuments, Congress can't really do anything about it. It's up to the president, but Congress can put pressure on it. And here's the most amazing thing. When Donald Trump was in the Oval Office signing the declarations to reduce the size of these national monuments to laughable amounts, he was surrounded by 9 different legislators and business leaders from Utah, all of whom are ignoring the 74% of people who live in Utah, Democrats and Republicans, who want these lands left alone. Mike Lee, the senator from Utah, who's been the leader in trying to destroy public lands for 12 years, was there, cackling. This is what we're up against. So I have to ask you one more time. Please write to your congressperson. Write your representative, write your 2 U.S. senators. Each state has 2 U.S. senators. You get a hold of both of them, and you put pressure on them, and you keep the pressure on them, and you let your friends and family know. And you get a hold of friends and family in different states and let them know and have them take action too. Because this is the only way we're stopping this. Until we actually get a new administration, and this destruction will continue. And until it does, the plundering of these national monuments that were set aside to avoid their plunder in the first place will move forward. I know it's hard to believe that a national monument that's been around since 1996 is in the crosshairs of Republicans who hate it. But they hate public lands. They hate impediments to their benefactors' being able to make money off of our federal public lands, and you and I don't get a piece of the action of any of it. We just have our natural lands destroyed. Go to my website, Tommy Hough. There's more information there. TOMMYHOUGH. Tell your congressmen and your senators to restore the full boundaries of Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument and Bears Ears National Monument. Because I'm telling you, I promise you, they're not stopping there.